The 1.62 update is upon us, and there's a new fastest credit grind method. I believe I found the fastest car and event combination in GT7 single player to grind as many credits as possible in the shortest amount of time possible. Of course, this excludes golding all of the circuit experience events and the online time trials in sport mode, but there's only a finite amount of those online time trials, and this one you can do as many times as you'd like. And that event is the Tokyo 600 event with the Audi R8 V10. Now, just a disclaimer, this is a wall ride setup. I know a lot of people don't like to do wall riding for whatever reason in this event. I say if you've beat the event legitimately at least once or twice, you shouldn't really care about how you completed the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 17th time. And the purpose of this video is to get the event done as efficiently as possible to make as many credits as possible. If you don't want a wall ride setup, then this may not be the best video for you. One of my good friends, Jeff, actually uploads a lot of really good Tokyo 600 setups that don't include wall riding, so if you want to go check out his channel, I highly recommend it. And the other caveat is you have to be collector level 50, which I assume most of you watching this video are. If you're not collector level 50, you should be doing the circuit experience and getting gold on those, or completing the menu books instead, as that'll be a much more efficient way to grind credits and grind cars in the early game. Now, the first thing we need to focus on is obviously the car, the part selection, and the setup. To get the car, you have to go to Brand Central, head over to Europe, go down to Audi in the Germany section, and pick up the Audi R8 V10. It's 300,000 credits. It's not nothing, but it's definitely not one of the more expensive cars in the game, so pick that up. Now, the most expensive part of this build is undoubtedly the engine swap. The engine this R8 gets is the Bugatti Chiron W16 engine, and this engine will be the main reason we're able to get this event done so quickly. So yes, you are spending a lot of credits to get this car upgraded, but trust me, in the long run, you are going to be saving so much time on this Tokyo event that you're going to make all of those credits back very easily. Over in the tuning shop, you definitely want to go and max the car out completely. The two exceptions to maxing it out completely is if you actually want to equip the sport clutch instead of the racing clutch, and then the sport brakes instead of the racing brakes. Thankfully, these two things do not make a massive difference in this particular event, and for performance points reasons, we're going to be using these two parts instead of the racing option. The tires that you're going to need as well are comfort hards and comfort softs. We're going to be staggering the front and the rear tires to get more performance under the PP limit, and for wall ride builds, this is pretty much standard for a lot of cars. Here in the car customization section, you want to equip custom rims, and you want to make sure to include the wide offset and make the rims as big as possible. If you do not get the wide offset and the rim size correct, the PP may be a little bit different than the one I have here. The next thing you want to equip is the front splitter. Type A or B will suffice. In the rear section, you want to equip type B, which is the rear diffuser. This is very important and you will need this. And lastly, I think any of the wing options are fine. I'm rocking the type A one, but I think you could run any of the first 3 stock, wingless, or type A, and you should be able to get the downforce setting I'm showing in this video. And honestly, that's all of the parts that you need. Now we're going to head over to the setup. As you can see in the setup here, we have the comfort hard tires in the front and the comfort soft tires in the rear. The reason we're equipping comfort soft in the rear is to try to get as much traction as possible out of the rear of the car. And if we put comfort softs on the front, our performance points would shoot up way above 600, and we wouldn't be able to run this build nearly as quickly as we have it here. Also, be sure to take a good look at the suspension, differential, downforce, and the transmission setup, as this will be very important to getting a good time. And of course, the parts selection is here. Make sure you have all of the upgradable parts, including body rigidity, carbon propeller shaft with the sports clutch and the sports brake system, racing muffler, intercooler, and the ultra high RPM turbo. This car makes 1851 horsepower, which is absolutely insane. So let's get into the race and see how it does. The first thing to note in the race is you want to go to fuel map 6 immediately and start saving fuel, and you want to shift right around here. You want to shift right around when the bar starts to pop up on the heads up display. You don't want to rev this car too much. You need to save the fuel. If you are running automatic, you will have to do an extra pit stop, which will slow down your time. And I highly recommend running manual for this. Even if you're an automatic only user, it's a very good place to practice manual shifting anyways, since it's a low pressure environment in a single player race and you're just wall riding the entire time. To do a one stop, you're going to have to shift in manual. Another important part of this lap is these two right hand corners in the middle of the track. You're going to have to slow down before the part of the wall sticks out on the right here, and you want to make sure that you take this corner normally in the middle of the track and then wall ride this part here. Dab the brakes, make sure that you can get around the right without hitting the wall on the other side and getting damage and slowing yourself down. Another thing to note is you're going to lap the AI car several times during this race. You really got to do your best to avoid the traffic and ride the walls as smoothly as possible to avoid damage. Sometimes you're going to have to hit the brakes maybe to try to maneuver between the AI as best you can. There's going to be incidents every now and then. You're probably going to get damage on almost every run. You just want to minimize it as much as possible. Another tip is while you're wall riding, delay your downshifts. You definitely don't want to downshift into 4th gear immediately as soon as you start wall riding. This will just increase the wheel spin significantly. I like to hold 5th gear on most of the wall rides until I get near the end of the wall ride, and then I go back into 4th and floor it. That way I can avoid the wheel spin a little bit more easily. You're going to be spending most of the middle of the track between 4th and 5th gear the entire time, so it's good practice to delay your downshift so that you're not spinning the wheels while you're against the wall and burning up your rear tires. For the last corner, you want to make sure to brake right around here almost every single time. You could use the wall on the left to slow down a little bit more quickly, but generally speaking, if you miss your braking point, you are going to miss the hairpin at the end of the corner. This is inevitable with these terrible tires and the speed that you're carrying into the corner, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Brake nice and early and get the car into the corner. And last but not least, the most important thing, to keep your clean race bonus and get a massive credit bonus at the end of the race, you have to stay within the white lines. It doesn't matter how much you wall ride, how many cars you hit, as long as you keep your car within the white lines, at least with 4 tires, you will keep your clean race bonus, so not missing the last corner is pivotal. Now, if you've managed your fuel well on fuel map 6, you should be able to pit right at the end of lap 6, and then just repeat the process, run the last 6 laps, save your fuel, get to the end. And this event can be completed now in 21.5 minutes or under. I did 21:29 on this run. Undoubtedly, you can go faster, but most people, generally speaking, are not going to be going this fast right away. It takes a little bit of practice to get to this time, but either way, most people who do this Tokyo race on a consistent basis fall in the 25-minute range usually, so you're saving a significant amount of time on some of the other best builds. And over time, this will add up and you will be making an insane amount of credits. If you're doing this efficiently and optimally, that's 2.3 million credits per hour. No other single player event really even actually comes close at this point. And despite the fact that this car needs to do a pit stop and there's other cars that don't need to do a pit stop, this one is just the fastest, plain and simple. So if you guys do find great utility from this build and or enjoy the video, leaving a like, comment, and subscribing would greatly help me out. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting on my recent videos, guys. But without letting this drag on too long, I hope you all have a good night. It's been your boy Dude, and I'm out. Peace.